Welcome back to 11 Bravo. I'm Rick Seaman. Our next segment features another disabled combat veteran from Vietnam, a gentleman named Joe Alexander. Our last guest, Bob Wieland, lost his legs completely. However, some combat veterans are amputees who lost their legs only partially. And because of that, they were able to be fit with prosthetic devices, artificial limbs. When Joe Alexander joins us, he has a lot to tell us on that subject. We'll be right back. This is 11 Bravo. We are back, 11 Bravo, and my guest is Joe Alexander. Joe, on behalf of the network and all of our viewers, first I'd like to say thank you for your service to your country, and sir, welcome home.
Thank you very much.
Vietnam, what year? 66?
66, yeah.
1966, and you were only 18. What were you doing? You were drafted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you doing a year or so before that?
Getting out of high school.
Just getting out of high school?
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
I was born in New Orleans.
New Orleans?
Raised on the little town on the Mississippi River called Donaldsonville. It was once the capital of Louisiana.
Basic training where?
Fort Polk.
That place was as close to the real Vietnam environment as you're going to find here in the U.S. Mosquitoes, 100% humidity. So off to Vietnam, your unit was the 1st Cav.
Well, I didn't know that until I got to Saigon.
Right.
And they used to tell us every morning, we were in a compound in Saigon. I said, fall out, man, right, fall out, man. We got in line and they start calling names. And everybody starts sweating.
Where am I going?
Yeah.
Where am I going?
You know, so-and-so, the 4th Division, this, that. Joe Alexander, 1st Cav. I said, but sir, I'm with the Armored Division. No, you with the 1st Cav Division. I said, yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Went on to do nothing about that.
To the field. You
Yes,
went.
sir.
Yes. 1st Cav was up in the Central Highlands about that time, right?
Right.
Yeah. A very interesting place to be. So there you were. Just for our viewers, you know, just describe a day in the life of a grunt in the jungle. Let's see.
Well, all it is actually is about search and destroy missions, like you say. You board a helicopter and they drop you off in an LZ, and
Yeah.
you off for like 30 days. You hump and you hump, you search,
And then you hump some more. You never stop humping. And just, you know, life as an infantryman. You know, you wake up in the morning. Oh, how many hours of sleep did you have last night?
Let me tell you.
Oh, about, what,
About
2?
three.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't sleep good now.
No, the grunt never sleeps soundly. And he never will. Until the day he dies.
Last night I didn't sleep that far.
Still don't sleep well. No.
It's like a habit you get into.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
When I was in the hospital, I didn't know if I fell asleep or not. You know, and I guess I did. But I don't remember sleeping, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And to this day, anything, little thing, you're awake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I managed to function.
Sure.
I function.
Sure, and that's kind of how it was in the jungle.
Yeah.
You just managed to function.
You
You
have
just
to.
managed to function.
Yeah.
The food was great. Oh,
Sea ration?
yeah, it was great.
Oh, that was so good. We'd go with
Yeah.
artillery and get an onion from the artillery battery
Yeah,
and season up those sea rations, man.
help it out.
Oh, God.
That was living.
A little C4 underneath that.
That was living. C4 lighted off, heated
Heated up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, baby, we're going to
right.
town
Lima
now.
beans
Yeah.
and ham.
Oh, lima beans and
Yeah.
ham, another favorite.
Yeah,
Oh,
trees.
man.
Go get a wild pepper. I'm telling you, they be growing wild, you know.
Yeah.
One
yeah.
time I put a couple of them in my fatigue pocket and did this, leaned on it. and broke a
Like-
few,
like to
and
burn your
got
leg
them
off.
all. Good Lord, man. Man, my leg was on fire, you know? It was burning up. I said, Doc, please.
Wow.
Mm.
Did you guys have any leeches up there?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I used to love those.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a little mark in my face right now. One morning I woke up. I had a leech in my face.
Yeah.
I like that. I lit a cigarette and I felt it move like
Burn it off with a cigarette. Yeah.
Burn it off.
Yeah.
I got it before it got in, really.
Right.
I punched, man, I like to knock my own self out, you know.
Yeah.
I got it before it got in. Yeah.
We had a medic. It was like his first week in the field, and one of our guys, we just went through this river, and a guy came out with a leech on him, and it had a chance to fill up pretty good, and it was
Mhm. Oh,
kind
yeah.
of in his private area.
Yeah.
And he dropped his trousers and said, "Hey, medic, you know, check me out here." This poor kid could not do it. He
Right.
cried. He saw that, and he just cried. He said, "I can't." And the GI, the grunt, just lit his own cigarette,
That's
puffed
right,
on it.
man.
Here's how you do it. There it goes. You know,
Yeah.
blood went flying all over this medic. He screamed. Oh, it was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yeah, you crossed the
Lovely
river.
life
Yeah.
in the field. Yeah. What'd your family think back home? What was going on with letters home while you were there?
Mom, you know, they prayed for me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
They knew the
my
deal.
dad, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, son, gotta serve the country, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The Lord gonna watch over you.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so. And I told my mom before I left, I said, Mom, don't worry about me. You know?
Yeah.
I said, I'll be back. You know,
Of
when
course.
when they came to see me in the hospital, I told I didn't say how, but I'm back.
There you go. One way or the other, I'm back.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, you're there, you're in the field, you know, you're making contact on a pretty much daily or every other day basis. But you always got your sights set on going home. You know, I'm going to get there,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm going to get there. Did you have any plans like, you know, when I get out, I'm going to do this or that, or what was on your agenda, you know?
Well, you know, my plans were, say, maybe 6 months left. I wanted to go to jump school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. I
okay.
wanted to be
So
a
you were real
paratrooper.
energetic,
Yeah,
yeah.
I just wanted to try that.
Why
You know,
not?
Sure.
Have some fun.
Have some fun.
There you
know.
go.
Then get out and I can, you
And
know.
then you can pretty much
Yeah,
do what
it.
you want.
Yeah, yeah.
Get back to the world and,
hmm
you know, life will be good.
I thought I'd get into music, you know.
Really?
Yeah, I used to be a drummer. I could still
Really?
play drums.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play a set of drums.
Who,
you know.
who are some of your musical favorites in, I don't think in New
Billy
Orleans?
Joe Jones was
Billy Joel Jones,
he was
yeah.
a drummer. You know,
Right.
and, you know.
I think in New Orleans, the only one I can think of is Dr. John.
Oh, well, yeah,
Okay.
I know. If you don't do it, somebody else will.
There you
yeah,
go. There you
so,
go.
yeah.
All right.
Dr. John.
Dr. John,
From
yeah.
Baton Rouge.
Yeah, that's where he's from, Baton Rouge.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I think when we used to sit around talking in the field, I can remember saying, you know, the first thing I want to do when I get back is I'm going to go into a bathroom, I'm going to pull up a folding chair, I'm just going to sit there and flush the toilet for a whole day and watch it flush, you know. I mean, that's the kind of,
Yeah.
you think about that kind of stuff because
yeah.
you know, people don't realize that they take those things for granted, and
Yeah.
the grunt in the field, you know, he's sleeping in the mud,
True.
you know, he's doing his thing in the
Yeah, and during the monsoon
in the bush,
season,
you know, and oh yeah, no, you're soaking wet day in and day
yeah,
out.
he sleeps sitting against a tree.
Yeah,
If you
Yeah.
blow up your air mattress, you may end up in the Mekong Delta somewhere.
exactly.
You know,
You
because
may-
you'll float
you may
away.
float away, yeah.
You'll float away.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And so January 1st, 1967.
mhm.
How long had you been in the field at that
About 8 months.
8 months.
Yeah.
You made
Without
it
an
pretty long.
R&R.
You were
No R&R.
you never got R&R in 8
Never.
months. You know, I went 7. I didn't either. I
Yeah,
never made
yeah.
R&R.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you got robbed out of R&R.
Yeah. I
Oh
was
well,
supposed to leave New Year's Day to get out of the field.
for R&R.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What was the operation you guys were on that day?
Oh God. Let me see if I can remember. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
I mean, they
But
all
I can-
they all seemed
Yeah,
about the
you
same
know,
at that point after
really,
8 months.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly
Um,
what operation.
But
But,
something really wrong was going to happen to you that day.
Yeah. You know, we were up on this hill, you know, and there was a village across the river.
Right.
And I noticed the people moving that day, a lot of movement in that village. And I really didn't pay too much attention, but I did. I was looking, decided to go in and do a little recon by fire. We stopped, and I got my guys online. I said, okay, we spread it out, you know, and I said, get far enough apart so that if somebody gets shot or step on a landmine, you won't get it, you know.
Right.
That very day, this kid named Philip Arrington, and somebody out there may know this kid, but he died in Vietnam. He came in the day before, and he was following Sergeant Shelton like his shadow, you know, walking behind him. I said, hey, back off, back off. I said, if the sergeant step on the mine or something happen, you're going to get it with it, you know. And I got these guys out, and here I was walking on the trail. Anyway, we started moving, and all of a sudden, boom! I just flipped up and looked like in slow motion, about 6 feet in the air or more, you know. Came down, and I was kind of on my stomach, and the darn hole was there smoking, and all of a sudden fire started, gunshots, pow, pow, pow. And this young man in my fire team, he pulled me into the water, you know, for safety. And when he did that, after a while everything stopped. The guys hit me with some morphine, you know. Next thing I know, I was in 85th Evacuation Hospital in the train. And when they pulled the sheet from over me, one of the nurses said, oh,
great.
Consolation, yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll be right back. This is 11 Bravo. We are back. This is 11 Bravo and Joe Alexander. Back to January 1st, 1968. Evacuation Hospital, Nha Trang, Republic of South Vietnam.
I stayed there for 5 days and went to Clark.
Right.
In Manila, yeah, Air Force Base. Back here on the 9th in the States. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you knew right then and there that your life was heading a different direction.
Oh, God. You're not kidding.
Man, everything you thought you were going to be doing when you came home is now taking on a whole new set of terms.
And you wouldn't even think about that, you know?
No.
This type of injury, you know, happening to you, you see?
No.
Yeah, so I tell you, when I got back, the doctor gave me a shot, and they were going to cut the spica cast off of me. And I was laying there behind the curtain, and man, that's the first time I looked at myself and I cried.
Yeah.
And wiped the tears. I have been crying over this since.
We'll be right back. This is 11 Bravo. Bravo. We are back with our guest, Joe Alexander. So, Joe, you're in the hospital now. Weeks and weeks have gone by, and pretty much, you know, there it is.
Yeah.
Here's what I got left of me.
It got to the point, I sent for the shrink.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I want to see a shrink, So the shrink came. And he said, you know what, Joe, I said, I want you to draw yourself. Draw yourself. Man, I drew myself, man, in the hospital bed and tractions and, he said, God, darn, you're pretty damn detailed. He said, call me when you need me, because you're facing reality.
Yeah.
He said, this is where you are.
This is where you are.
See what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And during that period of time, a man from the DAV, I think it was, one of the organization came to the hospital to visit. And he had a couple other people with him. And these were all disabled vets from Korea. Man, they had a lady with them there showing us they can dance and this and that. And God, what a relief that was. I think that was part of my anxiety, my pain, not knowing what was out there, you see?
Exactly.
So I think that burden was kind of relieved.
Right. So here comes this little troop in to visit,
right.
and these folks.
These guys could do, if I could do half as well as them.
Were they amputees?
Yeah, they were bilateral amputees, single amputees, businessmen. I said, man, I want to be like that, when I get older, So anyway.
Yeah. So you saw right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my option.
Yeah.
I can be this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is better
than
right. What I've got right here, right now.
And about 2 months ago, I went to Walter Reed. I want to return what they did for me.
Did you really?
To the vets at Walter Reed, to physical therapy. And that's where the amputees were.
Right.
You see?
And this is 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Now, what do you... Yeah. So you're seeing guys in there from...
Yeah. From Iraq.
Iraq.
Yeah, that's right. The Iraqi vets. So,
and probably things weren't looking a whole lot prettier there than they were.
No, but, I want to see those guys that was in bed, talk with them.
Did you feel like there might have been some of them there that were looking at you just like you looked at those folks that had been to Korea? And so it's like, here we go, here's the cycle.
That's
now it's my
turn.
turn.
Looking for.
It's right.
I was looking for that look, because those guys, they needed some uplift,
Sure.
Yeah, their spirit.
Right.
It's not a good, pleasant place to be in.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's great that somebody like Joe, been there, done that, and just 2 months ago he goes in there and kind of gives back what was given him once upon a time. That's really special.
My next step is I'd like to go back to Brooke Army Medical Center.
Sure.
That's where I was, And,
right.
And that's on my list. I want to go there.
You'll get there. You'll go.
There.
You'll go. Sure.
This year I'm going to go there.
Good for you. That's great.
See
great.
the troops,
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, okay. Let's talk about your business. You own a business today, and it's quite unique, and it's directly related.
Who would be a better prosthetist?
That's what it's called, a prosthetist.
Right, I'm a prosthetist.
Making prosthetics. So, explain to our viewers a wounded soldier, or for that matter, someone in a serious accident, industrial, car accident. There are various degrees of amputation.
Right.
Both to the arm, the leg, and based on what you've got, it determines what kind of device and prosthetic limb you're going to have to design. So you could probably have a lot of variety of people, different sizes, a person's height, their weight.
Well, it's a customized situation, whereas a patient come in, we evaluate that patient. The physician will send over a prescription describing, well, this is a transtibial transtibial or transfemoral signs or whatever amputation. We evaluate that patient and we decide, we cast that patient. See, we make a mold, and from measurements we take, we design and we modify this mold to fit this person, whether it be a shoulder disarticulation or transhumeral wrist disarticulation, what have you. See, yeah.
How much training or self-training, or did you go to school, or did you take any courses in this?
We studied anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, all, and then you have to have your regular college credits and this and that and the other.
Right.
Yeah. Then 2 years internship,
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so it's a science.
It's an art science.
It's an art. It's a science, and like you said, it's custom designed to each individual. There's probably no
That's right.
two that are going to require the same.
No, they can't. It's
same
impossible.
applications. Right. Joe Alexander, from amputee to prosthetist.
No, amputee and prosthetist.
He's still the amputee, but he's also a prosthetist now.
American.
That's right. And a great guy, a great American story. This is 11 Bravo, and we will be right back with more of Joe Alexander. You know what? This is the kind of stories I like to hear on this show, where it works out good, because guys like Joe, you can't keep them down. Okay? They served their country, lost part of their self in combat, and come out and rise up and become great Americans like Joe Alexander has become. And Joe, I salute you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being on the program. And you've been a great asset to this network, to this show. And with all the good grace and support you've had on this mission, is there anyone else you'd really like to thank while we're here?
Most definitely. I'd like to thank the support of my family, especially my wife. My wife was my girlfriend before I went in service. She was and now she's my nurse and wife and girlfriend.
And still your girlfriend.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know about you fellas, but I still get breakfast in bed. After 37 years, you know what I mean?
Not bad.
So, not bad,
Not
for
bad.
a guy that holding knees,
That's your work there.
Oh yeah.
That's your stuff. That's your
right.
equipment. You're driving a Cadillac.
I'm like the brake man.
Yeah.
I stand in front of my work.
There you go.
That's right.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
Joe, it's been a pleasure.
You're welcome.
We'll see you again. hot?
Yeah, we're rolling. Camera C.
Camera C. Great. 11 Bravo, I am back. I just walked our guest, Joe Alexander, out to his truck, said goodbye to him. We sat there and BS for a few minutes, and I learned some more things from him, and I didn't have anything to write notes with, so I managed to steal some mailing envelopes out of his truck console. He didn't mind too much. But what I learned was that prosthetics require periodic maintenance, something that we didn't discuss earlier. You know, these things are like shoes or tires. They wear out over a period of time, and we need to consider that as far as costs and funding as far as veterans and their prosthetic needs, maintenance and replacements. We spoke about the individual requirements, the custom fitting. There's also an issue here with there's a tremendous orientation and training period that goes along with prosthetic fitting, where the amputee has to learn the use and get used to it and, you know, adjust to everything. And a lot of this can be frustrating, not just emotionally, but financially. Reimbursement through the Department of Veterans Affairs, there's a very complex formula and time schedule, and it often becomes a burden, and the formulas are not always in sync with the veterans' needs and requirements. How can we make it better for those vets who deserve the best? Well, nobody really seems to have the answer yet. But one thing I think we can be assured of is that as the war on terror continues abroad, we're going to see a greater influx of veterans, amputees coming back into society, and it may just mean we need more money. Where will it come from? Tax dollars? Well, I don't know. I think I'd hate to bank on that if I were a 20-year-old who just came back and had his legs splattered all over the desert sands of some foreign country where many of you probably would not like to have your own kids. But I have an idea. And it's all my idea. I'll take the heat for it. I'll take all the blame for this idea. I think corporate America, where cash flows, and so do jobs to other countries, but I think corporate America should individually or jointly create a fund or a foundation or a sponsorship, whatever they care to call it, that would provide financial assistance to keep our heroic amputees up to speed, keep them up and running and into the future. That way we will continue to be blessed with people like Joe Alexander. Several other interesting notes on Joe Alexander. Joe recently returned from Rosarita Beach, Mexico. He was down there with the Flying Samaritans, and they were able to fit several young children down there, I believe 5 or 6, with prosthetic limbs. Good job, guys. Good job, Joe. Also, Joe plans a future trip to Southeast Asia. He wants to return to Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, and again, the mission will be to take care of children there that need prosthetic limbs. Great story, great guy. This is 11 Bravo, and we will see you soon.